ਇਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਪੌੜੀ ਹੈ ਅਚੁੱਤ ਹੈ ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਅਬਿਨਾਸ਼ੀ ਅਗਨਾਸ਼ ਹੈ ਪੂਰਨ ਹੈ ਸਰਬ ਮੈਂ ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਗੁਣਤਾਸ हे संगी हे निरंकार हे निर्गुण सब टेक हे गोबिंद हे गुण निदान जां कै सदा विवेक हे अपरंपर हर हरे हैं पीहो वनहार हे संतां कै सदा संग निदारादार हे ठाकुर हूँ दास रो मैं निर्गुण गुण नहीं कोय नानक दीजै नाम दान राखो हिय परोय हे ठाकुर हूँ दास रो मैं निर्गुण गुण नहीं कोय नानक दीजै नाम दान राखो हिय परोय। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। The topic that I have been assigned for today is Gurmat Karam philosophy. It's a huge topic and it's impossible to cover this topic in 1 hour, and I myself find this topic, the topic is not only huge, it's very complex and intricate. I myself don't have full understanding of how Karam works, but based on the understanding that I have got from reading Gurbani, books Gurseks like Bhai Kulbir Singh ji and Sangat of Gurseks, I'm going to make this presentation. The word Karam is used it comes from Hindi or Sanskrit, and it also is used in Farsi. In Hindi or Sanskrit, the meaning of word Karam is normally kam, koi kam kita jave, karaj, or any kind of deed or action. That's what it means in Hindi or Sanskrit. In Farsi, it's a little known meaning, but it's also used in Gurbani. Karam means kirpa, meher, or grace. We take some examples. On the left side, examples from Farsi, where the word Karam means kirpa or meher. On the right side, where Karam means actions, deeds. Bahta Karam likhya na jaye. Karam here means Akal Purkh di kirpa bahut vaddi. Bahta Karam likhya na jaye, vadda data til na tamay. So great is Akal Purkh's kirpa that it cannot be written, it cannot be defined. So the word Karam over here means meher ya kirpa or grace. Jinko nadar karam tinkar. Same thing over here. Jinko nadre karam is a commonly used word in Urdu. Nadre karam. So karam here, the gaze of kirpa or meher, grace. Jinko nadar karam tinkar. जिन्हां ते काल पुरख दी किरपा हुंदी है ओही गुरसिख बन के सच्ची कार नाम जपदे ने। करम होवे सत्संग मिलाए. Karam here again means kirpa, meher. If Akal Purkh does kirpa on us, only then we meet the satsangat, and after meeting satsangat we jap naam and we become Gursikhs. Now let's look at some examples from where Karam means actions or deeds. This is the most widely used use of this word Karam, and today we're going to discuss what Karam means, what kind of actions we should be doing in Gurmat and what kind of actions we shouldn't be doing in Gurmat. Manmukh Karam kamavne dargah mile sazaye. Obviously, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਨਮੁਖਾਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਕਰਮ ਕਮਾਵਾਂਗੇ, if we do works of manmukhs, anti Gurmat Karams, then dargah mile sazaye. Dargah means the court, the court of Dharam Rai in the next world. So if we do bad karams in this world, next world which we get punished. मानमुख कर्म कमावने दरगाह मिले सजाए बिन बूझे कर्म कमावने जन्म पदार्थ खोए. Again, if we don't realize the Kal Purukh and we do karam, we waste our janam. Janam britha jaat rang maya ke. Same thing over janam padarth khoye. We lose our janam, we waste our janam. Some commonly asked questions. Why do bad things happen to good people? And why do good things happen to bad people? अब आम ही देखते हैं, people say, I know this person, he has never done, never done a bad thing, but how come such a bad thing happened to this person? And vice versa too. There's some people who continue to do bad things, and they do sins and everything, but still they are leading a happy life. Why does that happen? And finally we see that some children are born with silver spoon in their mouth. They're rich and they're born to good parents. Some children are born to parents. Some children are born to as orphans. Some are born to very poor parents, and they don't even get milk. So why that kind of inequality? Now if we ask Semitic religions, Islam or Christianity or Judaism, we ask them, "Tusi dasso, why is the child born handicapped? Kyun is tarah hunda? Why is a child born poor?" They cannot answer the question, because on one hand they say that God is merciful, God treats everybody equally. Then how come some children are born differently, unequally? Gurmat has the answer for that. Because we believe in past lives. We don't believe that this life is the only life. But whereas those religions like Islam and Christianity, they believe in only this life. So it's very hard for them to explain why some people are born unequal. So before we answer these questions, we'll jump to next slide, and we'll come back to these questions later. Appa kaun hai? Who are we? Asi kaun hai? Think about it. Are we this body, or we are somebody living in this body? Most of us, we think that we are this body. And most religions think like that too, like Islam, and I studied Islam and Christianity. They think that we are made up of three components: the body and soul and consciousness and so on. But according to Gurmat, we are just living in this body. We are living entities who just happen to live in this body. We are not this body at all. और जिस तरह मैं कहा मेरा हजूरिया, just saying मेरा हजूरिया means that I am different from my huzuriya. Yeah, huzuriya, I'm wearing the huzuriya, but I'm not huzuriya. If I say mera pajama, mera kurta, my clothes, so when I say that means that I'm not the clothes. मैं कपड़े नहीं हैगा, हाँ, I'm wearing कपड़े. Now same way, if I say my hand, my legs, my body, just saying that my body means that I am distinct from the body. Appa body nahi hai. So we are somebody different from the body. Just when we say my body, it proves that. और फिर appa कौन है? गुरमत मुताबिक, as we talked about it yesterday, we come to this world to do something with the purpose in life, and our form, our real form, cannot function in this world on its own. We are different world, enchanted world. In order to function in this world, we get a new body, because only with this human body we can function. ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਭੂਤ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ body ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ body ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ, so they cannot function in this world. Like nobody can see them now, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ, but they cannot do anything here. In order to function fully in this body, in this world, we need this human body. ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ we have this human body. And before we were born in this human body, we existed. And after this body wears out and the body dies, we will still exist. So this is not the start, and this will not be the end. We have always been there, and we will always be there. So some people ask the question that in Gurbani it says that in the next world you'll be punished, you'll be beaten. Je galt kam karonge, you go to Dharmaraj and you'll go to Narak and you'll get punished. And they say that who will get punished? when the bodies will be left here. And Gurbani it also says that apne kesan na phad ke kesan nu khichde ne. So they say that your case are left right here, you don't have your case in the next world. So who's going to get hurt? Kinu maar pani hai? Who's going to get punished?
Our soul.
But they say that the soul cannot be hurt. It's a real soul है ना अपनी ਜਿਹੜੀ soul ਜਿਹਨੇ ਉਹ hurt me, it never gets old, never gets young, ਇੱਕੋ ਜਿਹੀ age ਹੈ ਉਹਦੀ, and never gets hurt, always in peace. So really ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਆ ਗਏ ਨਾ, it's a very different subject, we can talk about it later on. Soul is just part of our being. Soul, we have man also is there. So the whole when combined it's called Jivatma. So in the next world, when we go to Dharmarai, we do get a different body there. ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ different body ਚਾਹੀਦੀ. ਜਿੰਨੇ planes ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਧਰਮ ਖੰਡ, ਗਿਆਨ ਖੰਡ, ਸ਼ਰਮ ਖੰਡ, karm khand and Sachkhand, and only Sachkhand we are in the original form, we don't need anybody. In Sachkhand we stay in our original form because that's our true form. But in any other plane we have to take the body, or we have to take on the body of that plane in order to function there. So इसी तरह आप जो धर्म खंड, when we go to धर्म खंड or स्वर्ग नरक, and people living in Swarg, they have a body for that place, and for Nark they have a body for that place, and that body is designed in such a way, Nark wali body, जिन्ना मर्जी नु कुट्टी चलो मारी चलो, वो finish नहीं होती, पर pain होनी होती है. You feel the pain, but it doesn't get destroyed. Over here, if you hit somebody in the head 3-4 times, chances are that the person will die. Okay, in the next world, they can keep hitting you, but still the person doesn't die. Okay, इस तरह body design हुई है. So, in order to answer this question, why do bad things happen to good people? Now we can answer this question. Why do bad things happen to good people? This is not the only life we have lived. We have lived countless lives. Guru Sahib in Bani says, Kai janam payo keet patanga, Kai janam gajmeen kuranga. Guru Sahib says, for many lives we have lived as insects, like in lives of elephant. Gaj meen kuranga, meen means fish, kuranga means deer. So we have lived different lives, countless lives, in all life forms. Who knows how long we have been living? So when somebody says that a person may be a good person in this life, but if the chances are that in previous life or some other life, that person must have committed such a sin that warranted this kind of result in this life. So let's take one example. We all know that Bhai Ranveer Singh ji was a good person. Nobody can disagree on that. Bhai Sahib was a very good person. He was a Mahapurush, Naam Japde si. Even Bhai Sahib writes that when he was in the jail, the worst tortures, the worst time that he had in jail was in the jail of Nagpur. Nagpur is a city in South India, in Maharashtra. We went there last year. In Nagpur, Bhai Sahib ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾਗਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੁਰੀ. Nag means the land of snakes. ਇਦਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਾਗਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੁਰੀ ਹੋਗੀ. ਉੱਥੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ they hurt very much. They took away the gutke and took away all the facilities the Singhs had, and they took away all the eating luxuries that Bhai Sahib had, because Bhai Sahib was making his own prashada. And not only that, when Bhai Sahib refused to eat from their hands, from the hands of people who smoke, Bhai Sahib was a Viveki Sarvaloi. When he refused to eat from their hands, there was a droga, there was the superintendent of that jail. Was it Vadavaram? Vadavaram. Vadavaram, Bhai Sahib writes that one day he had a vision that while doing Japing Naam, that Vadavaram was a connection from previous past life. And many lives from that life that Bhai Sahib had. Bhai Sahib used to be a prince. He was a prince of some land. And where he was wandering around with his servants, that he came across a very old, frail man with closed eyes, and all his bones were out. And Bhai Sahib felt very sorry for that person. Bhai Sahib thought that he must be hungry. Bhai Sahib didn't know any better. But that person actually was not hungry. He was a yogi, a yogi, people who do yoga. And he was meditating, and he was meditating so intensely that he was not even eating food at that time. So that's why he was so frail and old. But Bhai Sahib didn't know that he was meditating. He innocently went up to him and he tried to wake him up so that he can feed him. But yogis, it's only in Gurmat that when you jap Naam, all the 5 vikars, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, they come under your control. But especially in the yogis and such religions, more bhakti that they do, sometimes more Krodh they get. Well, same thing happens in Sikhi too when we don't do it properly. Krodh ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ ਨਾਮ ਨਾ ਜਪੀਏ. So that yogi, when Bhai Sahib woke him up, he was actually doing meditation, and when he woke up, he was furious. He said, you have disturbed my meditation. And he got so furious that he came out to attack Bhai Sahib, who was a prince at that time. And when he came to attack Bhai Sahib, his soldiers and his paradars, his guards, they tried to save him. And the yogi had a trishul. Trishul is like a ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है trail spear हाँ spear but with 3 points, not spear normally is 1 point. Trishul is with 3 points. So it is also a Hindu sacred weapon for Hindus. They are one of their gods, Shiva. He carries a trishul. So that yogi, he took hold of his trishul and he attacked Bhai Sahib. But Bhai Sahib, he missed Bhai Sahib and he hit one of the soldiers of Bhai Sahib and hit him in the leg, that soldier, and his leg was hurt. And after that, the vision that Bhai Sahib had was gone. So even before going to Nagpur jail, Bhai Sahib told his companion, Bhai Kartar Singh Canadian, he said that he told him about the incident, and the Bhai Kartar Singh Canadian told Bhai Sahib that difficult times are coming. It looks like that yogi is going to come and he's going to get his karmic debt paid. So that's exactly what happened. That with Avaram was that yogi who came to get even with Bhai Sahib. And what they noticed was that in the same jail there was a soldier. No, actually there was a soldier who had a fight with that superintendent, and superintendent was hurt in his leg. He couldn't walk properly. What happened was that soldier had attacked. That soldier was the previous life servant of Bhai Sahib, and that servant in this life he had paid back his debt, and the superintendent was hurt in his leg. And now then he Bhai Sahib ne bahut torture ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ. At one point he did exactly same thing that Bhai Sahib had done to him inadvertently. He said, ਜੇ Bhai Sahib ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਛਕਿਆ ਤੇ we're going to force feed you. If you don't accept food that we prepare here, we're going to force feed you. And at that point, Bhai Sahib told him that if you try to force feed me, Bhai Sahib said that he felt that he should tell him the truth. Bhai Sahib said that if you force feed me, I haven't eaten for so many days now, and the body that I have is at weak at this time. If you try to force me, I'm going to block my naliyandiya by raising my breath in the dasam door. And while go in the process of taking my breath from the bottom here to dasam door, it's possible that my soul will go through the dasam door and it will leave the body, meaning that it's possible that he will die. Bhai Sahib ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਤਾ ਇਦਾਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੋ ਹੋਣਾ ਦੇਖੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ. So he came to Bhai Sahib and he started this. Many soldiers guards came with the superintendent and they forced Bhai Sahib to drink milk. And while they tried to force feed him with a tube through his mouth, and in that process they knocked off Bhai Sahib's 2 teeth. Do dant todte si ithon. And so what I'm trying to say is, even Mahapurush Gursikhs like Bhai Sahib, they had some bad karma from previous lives that they were paying in this life. So we shouldn't be surprised if something bad happens to us. It's just perfectly reasonable, because in one of our past lives we may have done something bad that we are paying back in this life. But the only thing is, in Gurmat there is hope. In other religions there is not hope. If you have a bad karma coming from bad life, there is no hope. You have to suffer that bad karma. But in Gurmat there is hope. We're going to cover that in the next few minutes. Next I'm going to go through, in order to understand how karma works, karma is divided into 3 parts, 3 categories. There is Sanchit Karam, and the Vartman Karam and Pralabdha Karam. How this works is, as we just spoke, we have been living a human form for countless lives. Every time we live a human form, we accumulate karma. So let's take an example that in one life we accumulated 1000 karma, good and bad karma. We gave out some money in charity, that's one good karma. We slapped somebody, that's bad karma. So this way, say some person has 1000 outstanding karma and he has another 2-3,000 from his previous lives. Say the person has 5000 bad karma in this outstanding, and all those karma are stored in a bank. Like as an example, we say all those karma, or you can say it's written on a chip, whatever you want to think. Let's think they're all stored in a bank account. When we are sent to this world, there are certain karma. We cannot fulfill all the 5000 karma in the bank, but there are certain karma, about say 500 karma or 1000 karma, that we can possibly fulfill or exhaust in this life. So those karma that we are supposed to exhaust in this life, those karma are called Pralabdha Karma. Pralabdha. And then the karma that are stored in the bank, the other 500 that we are going to suffer or get rewards for in this life are Pralabdha. And then the karma that are stored in the bank account is called Sanchit Karam. And finally, the Karam that we presently do, that Karam is called Vartman Karam, or whatever Karam you want to solve. That the Karam that we are doing present at this time now. Normally it's called Vartman Karam. So we need to understand this in order to understand why some Gurbani Panktiyan say one thing and some other Gurbani Panktiyan seem to contradict that. But there is no contradiction in Gurbani. We just go through this very quickly. So as this example says, Vartman Karam is karams that we do at this time. Pralabdha Karam are the karams that we are written on our forehead. Gurbani jitna likhya, jin mastak to har likhya, mastak te, all the karams are written on the forehead that we are supposed to do in this life. Those are Pralabdha Karam. So one of the karam could be that, or the result could be that the XYZ person is going to be born a very poor person. And when this person hits the age of 10, this person will probably get into an accident and lose an arm. As an example, is tarah karam likhe hunde ne, we are given situations, as situations pa dena. We can put this Jeevatma in this situation that he's going to get into an accident at age 10 and he's going to lose an arm. And such karam, jidi pralabdha hundi hai na, pralabdha karam, it cannot be avoided. It unu ho ke rendi hai, inu kadi avoid nahi kar sakde. Je likhya hua na ki ਇਹਦੀ ਬਾਂਹ ਟੁੱਟਣੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਰਮਲੀ ਬਾਂਹ ਟੁੱਟਣੀ ਹੈ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ avoid ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ. ਹਾਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਗੱਲ ਲੱਗੀ, ਜਦੋਂ ਬਾਂਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਟੁੱਟ ਗਈ, whenever arm is broken, how we react in that situation, that will shape our future karma. And then finally we have Sanchit Karam. Sanchit Karam is the other 4500 karam that are sitting in the bank account. Now I'm very quickly going to jump to next slide so that we can understand how this works. Is there a contradiction in Gurbani? On one hand, Gurbani says, Lekh na mitai hai Sakhi, jo likhya kartar. It means that, oh my friend, the karam of the lake that we have, they cannot be eliminated. In other words, you have to suffer the consequences. Lekh na mitai hai Sakhi. Lekh means karam. That we have written on the forehead cannot be eliminated. We have to suffer the consequence. On the other hand, Gurbani says, Gur ka shabd katte kot karam. Meaning that Guru da shabd, jira Guru da naam hai, naam japi hai, it can cut through millions of karams. So from the outward it seems like there is a contradiction, but it's not a contradiction. What happens is the first hukam, Lekhna miti hai Sakhi jo likhya kartar, it applies to Pralabdha Karam. The karam that we are supposed to do in this life are called Pralabdha Karam. Those karams cannot be eliminated. We have to suffer those. And I want to very quickly go through a famous Sakhi from Guru Arjan Dev Ji's time. There was a king of Mandi. Mandi is a kingdom in Himachal Pradesh. King of Mandi heard about greatness of Guru Arjan Dev Ji and came for darshan. Came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji and did satsangat there. He came with all his raniya and everything. And he came for and did sangat. and he was very impressed with Guru Sahib, and finally he became a Sikh of Guru Sahib. And then while he was doing Sangat, one day he heard this Bani, Lekh na mitai hai Sakhi jo likhya kartar. He heard this Bani and he was actually upset after he heard this Pankti. He said, the Pankti says that no matter what you do, the lake that you have cannot be eliminated. You have to suffer the consequences. Ye pehlo kite ne. So he was very upset. And he went up to, after the Diwan, he went to Guru Sahib. Guru Sahib ki benti ki, Sache Pasha, if the lake is never going to get eliminated, then what is the point of coming to your Sharan? What is the point of me becoming a Sikh? If jo hona ho ke rehna hai, if there's nothing, koi fayda nahi, why should I become a Sikh? Sikh banda mainu ki fayda hai? So Guru Sahib ne udo sun ke Guru Sahib smiled, and Guru Sahib said, at this time we'll answer your question at some other time. We'll answer the question at some other time. And Ovi Guru Sahib Raza man li, hukam man liya Guru Sahib da, he said Sat Bachan Sache Pasha. And it's written in our history that the same night when he asked the question, the same night he had a dream. In his dream he died. The king died. He died and he had a rebirth. And that rebirth he had in the house of Chandals. Chandal then, according to the Hindu caste system, Chandal caste is the lowest of the lowest. Unhone Chandal, when they were very poor, unhone da janam ho gaya Chandal de kare. And in that janam he witnessed that he saw himself taking birth in that family. Then he grew up in that family, and finally he hit his age of marriage and he got married. He went through many difficulties, countless difficulties through that dream. He was greatly agitated through the dream, and then he got married, he had children, he had new problems, and finally he got old and he died. And then he woke up, and the king woke up after that, and he was very upset, but he just kept everything to himself. And the next morning Guru Sahib told him, "Aao apan baar sair karke ye, let's go out." So Guru Sahib and all the other Sikhs, they went out. When they went out, but the king was visibly upset. It seemed to him as if everything that had happened to him was real. He was visibly upset with the dream, and he got really upset when he reached a certain place. Don't know where that place is in Punjab now, but he reached a pind or village where he recognized the village, that this village is the village from his dream. And then finally he even recognized, he saw some people coming, and when they came near him, he recognized that they were his children and they were his relatives. And now the king was really scared, and he's more surprised and scared when he saw that those relatives that he had seen in dream, they came running to him, and he said, "Oh, Sada Bapu da jiunda hai, but he's wearing new clothes." And the king was, "No, I'm not a Bapu niga." And they started fighting. "Tu sada Bapu, tu sanu chhad ke chala gaya." So then Guru Arjan Dev Ji which interfere ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ. He said that ਨਹੀਂ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੱਬਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੰਡਾਲ ਉਹਦੇ ਬੋਡੀ ਦੱਬਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. So go and check where you buried the body, you'll find his body there. So when they actually went there, they did saw the body of their old man who had died. So then Guru Arjan Sahib Ji ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਚ ਆ ਗਏ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਚੋਂ ਕੇ ਨਾਮ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ, ਸੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੋਲੇ ਇਹ ਪਾਵਰ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. This is true that lake cannot be eliminated. It cannot be eliminated, but it can be reduced. It can be reduced to such a level that it doesn't even feel. ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਜਨਮ, imagine the whole janam that he had, ਸਾਰਾ ਜਨਮ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ through dream ਲੰਘਾਤਾ. ਸੋ ਸਾਰਾ ਐਡਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਕਰਮ, ਇੰਨੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਕਰਮ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੱਟੇ ਗਏ. So ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਯਕੀਨ ਆ, I have full faith that whenever something so called bad happens to Gursikhs, it always happens with a much reduced effect. ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਾਠ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨੇ, those Gursikhs never get the full effect of their past karma, because as they said, ਲੇਖ ਨਾ ਮਿਟੇ ਇਹ ਸਖੀ ਜੋ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਕਰਤਾਰ, ਸਜ਼ਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਾਂ ਰਿਵਾਰਡ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਹੈ, it has to come because this is ਹੁਕਮ that this has to go through this janam. ਉਹ ਜਨਮ ਰਿਵਾਰਡ ਜਾਂ punishment ਮਿਲਣੀ ਹੈ, but it comes with a much reduced effect. There is another Sakhi also in Gurbani. I think many of you must have heard. Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to Assam, and over there was a satsangi who became a Sikh of Guru Sahib. He used to go meet Guru Nanak Sahib every day, and his best friend, he was a thief. They both used to go in the evening at the same time, and one friend used to go to do sangat, and the other one used to go doing bad things. And एक दिन उन्होंने कहा अपने फ्रेंड को कहा तू भी नाल चल लेट्स गो टू मीट गुरु साहब वो कहता मैनू कोई लोड़ नहीं जान दी उत्थे जान दा की फायदा पर ही डिडंट वो गल मन्निया नहीं ही डिडंट गो विद डू संगत when they were coming back I'm very quickly going through the Sakhi when they were coming back when they came back from there when the Gursikh who had done sangat of Guru Nanak Dev Ji when he came back he had a thorn a kanda ਉਹਦੇ ਪੈਰ ਚੁੱਭ ਗਿਆ kanda and he had blood coming out of his feet. On the other hand, when the chore came, the bad guy, when he came after doing bad things, when he was coming back on his way, he found a gold coin, mohar labbi mohar, sone di mohar, gold coin. So when they both met, and they only kept, why are you bleeding? He told them, "Ita manu kanda jab gaya, that's why I'm bleeding." And then the chore told him, "Look, I found sone di mohar." And then the chore started teasing him, said, "Dekhya, मैं चोरी करने गया मैं माड़े काम करने गया सी आई एम डूइंग बैड थिंग्स एंड आई स्टिल गॉट सोने दी मोहर आई स्टिल गॉट गोल्ड कॉइन एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड यू वेंट टू संगत एंड you look at you your foot is bleeding so obviously he had faith but he was shaken he said I don't know how to answer your question let's go to Guru Sahib Guru Nanak Dev Ji I want to know why this has happened so they both went to Guru Nanak Dev Ji when they went to Guru Nanak Dev Ji then Guru Nanak Dev Ji told them गुरु साहब ने तो जो दसिया गुरु ने अखा बंद करके सारा कुछ पता किया गुरु साहब ने दसिया गुरु साहब said with this Gursikh he had a previous bad karma that when he was and this evening he was going to get caught innocently and he because he resembled some other thief he was going to be hanged because of his past karma he had done some past karma ਉਹਦੀ punishment ਇਹ ਸੀਗੀ he was going to be hanged ਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੂਲੀ ਚੜਨਾ ਸੂਲੀ ਜਾਂ ਫਾਂਸੀ ਲੱਗਣਾ so Guru Sahib said ਇਹਦੀ ਸੂਲੀ ਦਾ ਸੂਲ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਸੂਲ means just ਥੋੜੀ pain ਹੋਣੀ just pain ਸੂਲੀ means ਫਾਂਸੀ ਚੜ ਜਾਣਾ you get hanged so Guru Sahib ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ because he was doing ਸੰਗਤ every day ਨਾਮ ਜਪਦਾ ਸੀ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੂਲੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਸੂਲ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ so ਚੋਰ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ what and how come I found the gold coin then Guru Sahib told him ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਜਨਮ ਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੇ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀ you did great very good deeds in your last life and because of that good deed you were going to find treasure today you're going to find a pot full of gold coins but you only found because of your bad karma tera oda good effect siga good reaction it got reduced and you only found one gold coin so from this also we learn that jehde lake hunde ne we have to suffer the lake but with much reduced effect. So if somebody has not understood Sanchit Karam, Pralabdh Karam, we can go through that later on also. We have to move forward because we have time thoda hai. I have written this in Punjabi, taken directly from book of Bhai Kulbir Singh Ji. It says Karma Upar Nibeda. Karma Upar Nibeda means we will be judged on our karmas. What kind of karmas we do? We can quickly go through these panktiyan from Japji Sahib hai. Changiyan buraiyan vache taram hadur. Karmi apo apni ke neda ke dur. So it says that dharam over here means the dharamrai. Vache means judge. They say that our changaiya, our good deeds and our bad deeds are judged by dharamrai in the next world. So this proves many things. First thing it proves that our changaiya and buraiya we are held accountable for those our deeds. And secondly, there is dharamrai. Some people say there is no such thing as dharamrai. There is dharamrai. जो गुरबानी कहती है ना सतगुर की बाणी सत सत कर जानो गुर सिखो हर करता आप मुहों कढ़ाए गुरु साहब बाणी इज सत सत नथिंग बट द ट्रूथ गुरु साहब ने झूठ बोलने की कोई लोड़ नहीं जो चुप कर जाओ भूत आ जाऊगा इदा मावा कहती होंगे भूत चुप चुप भूत आ जाओ बच्चों को कहती ने गुरु साहब डजंट नीड टू से दैट गुरु साहब सच कहते हैं तो गुरु साहब कहते हैं गुरु साहब सेज दिस धर्म राय देयर इज धर्म राय दा नेक्स्ट पंक्ति सेज कर्मी आपको अपनी के नेड़े के दूर डिपेंडिंग ऑन द काइंड ऑफ डीड्स वी डू we are that far or that near from Akal Purakh from Guru Sahib. Next पंक्ति दद्दा दोष ने देऊं किसे दोष कर्मा अपने जो मैं किया सो मैं पाया दोष ने देई अवर जना दोष ने दीजे अवर जना so here same thing over here Guru Sahib सिक्ख्या दिंदे ने ਵੀ whatever happens to us, we shouldn't start blaming others. Oh, मैनू ਇਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ. Guru Sahib clearly gives us hukam. Don't blame anybody else. Whatever bad happens to you happens because of your own karma. Guru Sahib is saying over here very clearly. जो मैं किया सो मैं पाया. Whatever I did, that's what I reaped. Whatever I sowed, that's what I reaped. दोष ना दीजिए अवर जाना. गुरु साहब का हुक्म है. Don't blame others. आ हुक्म है गुरु साहब का. जेहे कर्म करमाए तेहा होए सी. Again the same hukam. Whatever kind of karms we do, that's what's going to happen to us. The same thing is going to happen. Basically, this is just the English version of what we just said. Our present. सोचने वाली गल. What is किस्मत? Some people say, I have bad luck. मेरी किस्मत ही माड़ी है. मेरी किस्मत इतना दी है. किस्मत really पता की है? किस्मत is the reflection of our past. What we are today. जो आप आज है हैं, चाहे आप उच्चे लंबे हैं, अमीर हैं, गरीब हैं, सिख हैं, कनेडा बैठे हैं, इंग्लैंड बैठे हैं, जो भी आप है हैं, it's because of our past karma. और कोई reason, it doesn't, nothing happens for us as an accident. एक और गल है, there is no such thing as an accident. Accident, there is no such thing. Accident कदे नहीं होता. जो भी होता सब कुछ वाहिगुरू दी कंट्रोल च. When we say accident, accident means something happened that is not supposed to happen. It's happened all of a sudden. That kind of implicits that it's not in control of Vaheguru. Akal Purkh control to bahar hai. जो when accidents do happen, so-called when road accidents, mishaps happen, they happen because अपना कर्म कोई कर्म होता है. That's why they happen. There is no such thing as accident. And there is no such thing as मेरी good luck है, मेरी bad luck है. कोई good luck bad luck आ ही है. It's the karma that we did in the past. Some person may have done huge charity work in some previous life, पैसे देते होंगे दान, and that person wins the lottery. And so it's not so such thing. कोई nothing happens by chance. कुछ कीता होंदा, कोई it's some kind of payback, karmic payback. Just as our present is a reflection of past, our future will be shaped by the kind of karma that we do today. जितना भी काम आप करेंगे, that's how our future will be shaped. जिथे भी आप जाना है, if you want to go to heaven, we do that kind of karms. If you want to go to, some person wants to go to hell, it's very easy. ओहो जो आप काम कर लिए, जिहड़े आप hell जा सकते हैं, नरक जा सकते हैं. If you want to go to Sachkhand, which is a place which is not heaven, it's not hell, it's something above these two realms. So if you want to go to Sachkhand, we do Gurmat Karam. So there is good Karam, there is bad Karam, and there is Gurmat Karam. Three kind of Karams. There are two ways to eliminate our bad karam. Say something, we get stuck in a bad situation. Bad situation can be a bad disease. Say we are hit with a bad disease. How can bad disease, how can we eliminate, how can we get out of this situation? There are two ways to exhaust the karma. According to Gurmat, if we get a disease, if we get into bad situation, it's not because of anything that we did here, it's because of some past karma. This is a karma, this is the cause of bad things, is some kind of bad karma. So the way to eliminate the bad karma is, one way is to go through the suffering. When the suffering is completed, then the karma will go away. The karma is finished, is washed. Second way and the easy way is apna naam japiye. A Gurbani siddhant hai, if we jap naam, the place or some kind of microchip, जो भी chip है इत्थे कोई memory stick है, जो भी है, जितने अपने bad कर्म लिखे ने, it starts getting deleted. And I'm going to go through दो और तीन पंक्तियां very quickly to prove किस तरह अपने सारे ਜਿਹੜੇ कर्म ने वो clear हो जाते हैं. This is the पंक्ति from श्लोक सहस्कृति. घोर दुखियं अनेक हत्यं जन्म दारिद्रं महाविख्यातं मिटंत सगल सिमरन हर नाम नानक जैसे पावक काशित भस्मं करोत. I know it's very difficult language है. इसका मतलब है बंदा घोर दुखियं, घोर means बहुत ज़्यादा दुख. जे किसी बहुत ज़्यादा दुख आ जाए. Second, अनेक हत्यां, जे किसी ने बहुत मर्डर्स किए हों, कई मर्डर किए हों. If a person is the serial killer, बहुत अनेक बंदे मारे ने. To kill somebody is a great sin. If somebody is such a great sinner that he is a serial killer. So number one, ਉਹਦੇ को कई दुख ने. Secondly, he has committed many murders. He's a very serious karmic debt on his shoulders. Thirdly, Janam Daridrang. Daridra means poverty. So if somebody is very poor, बहुत ज़्यादा poor, can't even meet standards, दो बारी प्रसादा नहीं मिलता. And Mahabhikyadam. And on top of all these things, he is currently stuck in a very grave situation. ਹੁਣ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਨੈਰੀਓ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵਾ with so many negative things. I'm sure none of us gets hit with all these 4 things at the same time. ਮਿਟੰਤ ਸਗਲ ਸਿਮਰੰਤ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ. ਮਿਟੰਤ ਸਗਲ ਸਿਮਰੰਤ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ. ਈਜ਼ੀ ਆ. ਸਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨਾ ਆਪ ਦੁੱਖ, ਆਪਣੇ sins, ਆਪਣੇ ਦੁੱਖ, ਆਪਣੀ ਮੁਸੀਬਤਾਂ, the problems that we have and the poverty that we have, it gets eliminated if we jap naam, simrant har naam. And then what happens? How does it get eliminated? Just like if we put wood in fire, the way fire burns wood and reduces it to ashes, same way jehda naam burns away the bad deeds and the bad and dukh that we have. Is tarah burn ho janda va. So naam is a very powerful tool. Je apne ko problem hai na, naam japiye. Jahan dukh lage ta tujhe sambhalni. ਜਦੋਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗੇ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਮਸਟ ਆ ਗੋ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਯੂਰ ਰੂਟਸ. ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ. ਦੁੱਖ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਦੁੱਖ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ. ਇਟ ਆਲ ਡਿਪੈਂਡਸ ਔਨ ਯੂਰ ਅਵਸਥਾ, ਆਪਣੀ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਉਸ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ. ਦੇਰ ਆਰ ਸਮ ਗੁੱਡ ਸਿੱਖਸ ਹੂ ਰਿਫਿਊਜ਼ ਟੂ ਡੂ ਐਨੀਥਿੰਗ ਐਲਸ. ਕੋਈ ਐਫਰਟ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਜਸਟ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣਾ ਹੈ. ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਸੀ. ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਵਾਜ਼ ਔਨ, ਕੀਰਤਨ ਵਾਜ਼ ਔਨ, ਐਂਡ ਸਮ ਗੁੱਡ ਸਿੱਖਸ ਕੇਮ ਟੂ ਦਰਬਾਰ. ਬਹੁਤ ਘਬਰਾਏ ਹੋਏ, ਵੈਰੀ ਅਪਸੈਟ, ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ, ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ. ਸੂਲੀ ਖਾਨ was a commander, a Muslim commander. He is coming to attack us. Let's do something about it. सारी संगत, everybody was visibly upset. तो कहने लगे let's do something. So somebody got up. कहने लगे की करिए? And they said let's write down our viewpoint and let's send a letter to Suli Khan and stop him in the middle, explain to him our viewpoint, that whatever Prithi Chand has told Suli Khan, so Prithi Chand was elder brother of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, that whatever Prithi Chand has told you is false. We are not doing anything against, no conspiracies against the government. And then second person said, no, there is no time for writing anything. We should send our representatives, we should send them to Suli Khan so that they can explain our viewpoint. Let Baba Buddha Ji go and Bhai Gurdas Ji go and explain to them the situation. Guru Sahib just kept quiet. Guru Sahib kuch nahi bole. Then jo Guru Sahib kuch nahi bole na, then somebody got up. Sache Pasha, apan kuch karna paina. We have to do something. We just can't sit like that. Us time the Guru Sahib ne kaha. Guru Sahib writes this in his shabd. Guru Sahib says, Prathme mata kich patri chalavo. ठीक है ना? प्रथमे मता कछ पत्री चलावो, द्वितीय मता दो मानुक पहुंचावो. पहला मता हुक्म, हाँ जी, दो मानुक पहुंचावो. So first somebody said कि let's write a letter. Second मता no, let's send representatives there. द्वितीय मता दो मानुक पहुंचावो. तृतीय मता किछ करो पाया. तृतीय कहता कुछ करना पैना, let's do something. but गुरु साहब ने की जवाब देता को मैं सबके छोड़ प्रभ तुम्हें ते आया. गुरु साहब कहने अपन वी नॉट ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ. let's do ਕੀਰਤਨ, let's do ਜਪ ਨਾਮ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਾਸ ਟੋਟਲੀ ਬੇਪਰਵਾਹ ਸੀ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਰਵਾਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਹੁਕਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੋ. ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਐਂਡ ਐਵਰੀਬਾਡੀ ਗਾਟ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਡ ਇਨ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਐਂਡ ਨਾਮ. ਐਂਡ ਵਾਟ ਹੈਪਨ ਔਨ ਦੀ ਅਦਰ ਹੈਂਡ, on the other side, Suli Khan was traveling with his army coming to attack Guru Sahib. What happened? On his way he stopped at his friend's place and there was a pattha. पता नहीं पट्टे इंग्लिश की कहते हैं, मुझे पता नहीं. Brick kiln. And there was a huge oven and he accidentally fell. Not accidentally, I just shouldn't be using this word. He along with his horse fell in that pattha, in that big stove, and he burned. Sara finish ho gaya, sar gaya, swa ho gaya. And then Guru Sahib has written a shabd on this also. Suli te Narayan rakh. Suli ka haath kahin na pahunche, Suli hua muah napak. The whole shabd covers the kis tarah Suli couldn't get to Guru Sahib and he perished on his way. So depending on the avastha that we have, there are Gursikhs who will say sanu ਆਪਾਂ ਸ਼ਕਨ ਦੀ ਦਵਾਈ ਵੀ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ. But again, Gursikh, he doesn't say ਦਵਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਣੀ, it's allowed. if medicine is allowed. No, Gursikhi doesn't say, you can't use medicine. Whether we use medicine or we don't use medicine, either way, it's the Guru Sahib who will cure us. The medicine doesn't do anything. It's a reality. Say somebody gets hit with cancer or diabetes, or take any disease. The cause of disease is not the germs. Some diabetes, they say the pancreas stop producing insulin. This is what they say in science, medical science, right? पर झूठ है सारा कुछ, वो जो मर्जी कही जान, इंसुलिन दिया. मैं सच्ची क्या दसदा, जेड़ा डिजीज हुंदा ना, no matter what science says, the only reason why we get a disease is because of a bad karma outstanding. Otherwise, according to Gurmat, you cannot get dukh, you cannot get disease otherwise. Science can say whatever, can the germs चले गए, germs जाना, you got typhoid हो गया या कुछ और हो गया. But reality is, yeah, that may be happening from the outwards, but the reason why the germs came in the body, or the reason why the pancreas have stopped producing insulin, or the reason why cancer is sprouting, is because कोई bad karma ਉਹਦਾ cause है, some bad karma is causing it. And ये ਆਪਾਂ दवाई खाते हैं, what we are doing is we are just eliminating the symptoms. ਉਹਦਾ root ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਹੈ, disease ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ. And if we have a karma, we may eliminate one disease, but if there is a still outstanding karma still staying, we get some other disease. ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਉਹ disease, ਉਹ karma exhaust ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, the disease will still keep coming back. And the reality is, if we jap naam and we attack the cause, ਜਿਹੜਾ cause ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ attack ਕਰੋ ਸਿੱਧਾ. ਜੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ ਕੇ attack ਕਰੀਏ तो without eating ਦਵਾਈ also ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ हैं. And there is a पंक्ति जिਵੇਂ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸਰਬ ਰੋਗ का औखद नाम. And another पंक्ति in Sumni Sahib again, अनेक उपावी रोग ना जाए. देखो पंक्ति सुनो, अनेक उपावी रोग ना जाए. No matter you do many different means, different methods use कर लो, रोग नहीं जाता. रोग कितना जाता? रोग मिटाए हर अवखद लाए. गुरबाणी का हुक्म है. रोग will only go when we apply the medicine of naam on it. Otherwise we may eliminate गोली खाली Tylenol दी, aspirin दी, headache चली गई, it will come back again. Next day it will come, 2-3 days back it will come back again. But if we jap naam, a Gursikh told us in Toronto, he said it's been 25 years since he had a headache. And then he said that somebody had told me that if you do 3 things, you can never get a headache. 3 things. 3 things ਸੀਗੀਆਂ. ਪਹਿਲਾ ਗੱਲ ਸੀਗੀ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਠੰਡੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ. ਠੰਡੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਸਿਰ 'ਚ ਕੇਸਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਪਾਣੀ, I don't enjoy taking shower here. The ਪਾਣੀ is not ਠੰਡਾ enough. Really honestly, Sachi, we have been used to it so much now, so many years. In Canada, पानी is really near freezing ਹੁੰਦਾ. And when the freezing water hits our head in the Amrit Vela, it really awakens us. It's really good feeling. Amrit Vela, he said, take shower, ठंडे पानी का shower. Second thing he said, do Sumsa the part every day. And third thing he said, Sarvalo. This is what his own experience was. He said, it's been 25 years, he has never had a headache after that. So different Gursikhs have different experiences. Like ਮੈਨੂੰ ਯਕੀਨ ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਯਕੀਨ ਹੈ. ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਜੇ person keeps ਰਹਿਤ ਰੱਖੇ, ਸਰਬ ਲੋਕ ਸਭ ਕੋ ਰਹਿਤ ਬਹਿਤ ਰੱਖੇ, disease, these things shouldn't come to you. If they do come to you because of this, they do show up as lekna mite he saki because of past karam, they will not do any harm to us. Then they will quickly get eliminated. Then they come originally for 5 years, but they will go away in 5 weeks. Rahuga nahi. And there is also the society, Sarab Rog ka Khudnam society now. They have proved it, scientifically proved karta unhone, that people who go to their camps, they do get healed. And what they recommend is 4 hours of Naam every day, and they ask us to give up some bad karms as well. Ninda nahi karni, chugli nahi karni, kaam, krodh, lobh, moh, कार to abstain karna hai. So if people who are following their system, the system is working, and it's working for everybody. Doesn't matter Sikh or Gursikh. Anybody who gets close to Gurbani is going to get affected, no doubt about it. Next pankti, jap man ram naam nistara, kod tantra ke paap khove har pavjal par tara. Same thing again. Guru Sahib keh rahe ne, naam japo, naam jap ke you get salvation. Kod kutantra means your bad karma, millions of bad karma from millions of lives, they get eliminated. So Gurbani age te we have to bow our head. Gurbani jo kendi sach kendi. Finally, third pankti I am giving here for quoting. Satgur मैं बलिहारी तौर जिन सकल विकल भ्रम काटे मोर, Ramanand Swami Ramat Brahm Gur ka shabd kaate kot karam. This is the only shabd that Bhagat Ramanand ji has in Gurbani. Just if some good Sikhs here may not know, Ramanand ji, Swami Ramanand ji was worldly, he was guru of Bhagat Kabir ji, Ravidas ji and Sain ji and many other Bhagats whose Bani is in Gurbani. What happened was, if you look at this Pankti, he says, Sadgur mein balhari tor. I just want to take 2 minutes of your time. I thoda issue to apne subject to off hona hai. Ramanand ji's guru was Raghava ji. And Raghava ji was 13th or 14th place of Ramanuj. Ramanuj was in India, there was at that time two kind of bhakti, Krishna di bhakti and Shiv di bhakti. So there are Vash and there are Vash and there is Shaiv. Shaivs are who worship Shivji, one of the gods of Hindus, and Vash are those people who worship the incarnations of Vishnu. They are called Vash. And up until Ramanand ji, there were only two schools. यहाँ तो शिवजी दी भक्ति करते थे या कृष्ण दी भक्ति करते थे. So Ramanuj in the 8th or 9th century he started the Krishna Bhakti and really grew very popular in South India and especially in Central India. More popular see. And in the 13th or 14th place of Ramanuj was Raghava ji. And Raghava ji's disciple was Ramanand ji. Ramanand ji, when he became a disciple of Raghava ji, he was doing Krishna Bhakti because that's the mantra that he had got. But it's written in the history that he's probably the only Bhagat known who revolted against his guru. He revolted against Raghava ji and he introduced his own Bhakti and that Bhakti is called Ram Bhakti. Before Ramanand ji, the Bhakti of Ramchandra, the Hindus have a god Ramchandra. Ramchandra di Bhakti was not popular. And Ramanand ji was a very charismatic person and very soon he had a very large following. Following was so large that Kabir ji, Ravidas ji and Sain ji and many other, Tanna ji too, many of these Bhagats, they were living in Ayodhya at that time and they were all disciples of Ramanand ji. On the history of Anmats, history of other people, scholars, they say something else, but it's written in our history, our Janam Sakhi, it's written that Guru Nanak Dev ji went to Ayodhya. When he went to Ayodhya, over there he met Ramanand ji heard about Guru Nanak Dev ji and they had a meeting. And they had a very long discussion. And the whole discussion is very interesting. It's written in poetic form. It's written in, there's a book called Bhagat Bani Pag of history of Bhagat Bani. And in old Janam Sakhis, there's a long, it's recorded what kind of conversation they had. And after the conversation, Ramanand ji was very, very old. He was much older than Guru Nanak Dev ji. Ramanand ji ne kaha, Guru Sahib, he begged for naam. In the end of it, he said, I've spent so much time, I've reached such a high level, but I need, after the conversation I had with you, I feel that I need more. So only Guru Sahib ki benti kiti ki mainu naam baksho. Then it's written that tab Baba bahut hasya. Kehne laga, Gosai ji, tusi to sab ko jante ho. Tusi idda ke Guru Sahib, tab Baba bahut hasya. This is how it's written. Tab Baba bahut hasya. Kehne laga, Gosai ji, तुसी तो सबको जानते हो. तो गुरु साहब ने आपको जवाब देता, गुसाई जी तुसी you already know everything. Why do you want नाम? गुरु साहब हंस के कहा ना, इस तरह लिखा था. पर रामानंद जी insisted कि मैंने अपना सिख बना लो. So at that time it's written that Ramanand ji became a Sikh of Guru Nanak Dev ji. And then the following day, Bhagat Kabir ji, Ravidas ji, Sain ji and many other Bhagats, they all came to Guru Sahib as well. And they all became Sikhs of Guru Sahib too. Now look at this Pankti. मैं ताही Pankti quote की है. Satguru मैं बलिहारी तोर. Ramanand ji is saying, oh Satguru, I am sacrifice on you. Who is Ramanand ji referring to as Satguru here? He had no guru of his own. He had revolted against his own guru Raghava ji. Remember I just said Raghava ji is against, he revolted. He started his own school. So who is he calling Satguru? Who is he begging before? Satguru Nanak, exactly. He's Guru. आम ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ, ਕੋਈ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਹਿੰਦੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ. ਇਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ? ਵੈਨ केते कान महेश केते ब्रह्मे घाट घड़ियां रूप रंग के वेश. गुरबाणी कहती है अकॉर्डिंग गुरु नानक देव जी, देयर prophets like and the gurus like Krishna, Shiv ji, Buddhi, Lord Buddha कहते हैं Buddha, and all these great prophets, they are sitting in Gyan Khand. Just read Japji Sahib. Kete Brahme Kadat Kadi Rupranke Veshan, Kete Kan Mesh. Kan means Krishna, Mesh means the Shivji. When the entity that they are worshipping is in Gyan Khand, how could the Bhagats have reached such Khand? You can only go as far as your worshipee is. That's why there is a Pankti in Gurbani, Mahamai ki puja kare, narte nar hoya uttare. Some Panji asked me this question. She said that it seems to her that this Pankti is a sexist Pankti, that it discriminates against women. Because the Pankti says, Mahamai ki puja kare. Mahamai kaun hai? You know, Hindu Devis, they're called Mahamai. Mahamai ki puja kare. What Gurbani says, if you do puja of Mahamai, in the next life you become a woman. Gurbani. So from the outward it seems that it is a sexist Pankti, but it's not. Sexist nahi hai. Ek Gurmat da asool hai. It's the principle of Gurmat, that you become what you worship.
So we want some people to worship Mahamai. We want women.
Exactly. So what happens is, if you start worshipping a buffalo, you know, you become the maximum you can become is you can become a buffalo. That's right. Porky ban jaoge. Haan ji, people who worship Shivji, the maximum heights or the pinnacles that they can reach is they will reach the level of Shivji. Jaisa simre taisa hove. Exactly. Whatever you do Simran of, that's what you become. So now if you do puja of that Mahamai, the maximum you become is you become Mahamai, and next janam you become a woman. This is what Gurbani te likhya ho. We shouldn't worship any woman, not man. We should worship a Kalpurk. Jehde Kalpurk di puja karte ne, oh Kalpurk ban jande ne. Once you worship Vaheguru, they become Vaheguru. They become one with Vaheguru. So is karke our Shabd is want to bring up this Shabd here. Satgur mein balhari tor nisakal bikal pram katte more. This Shabd proves that Ramanand ji had a guru, and his history says he had no guru, but his own Bani proves that he had a guru, and his guru was Guru Nanak Dev ji and nobody else. And this is a totally different subject that we'll go through this subject some other time. That jinnah di Bani Guru Granth Sahib ji vich hai, they were all Sikhs of Guru Nanak Dev ji. Nobody was a Hindu, nobody was a Muslim. And Kabir ji himself is saying, Bhai Sahib, Surjit Singh ji said, yes, he quoted a Pankti, na hum Hindu na Musliman, Allah Ram ke pind pran. It's in the Prabhati Rag, right? Towards the end, this Pankti comes in Guru Granth Sahib. Oh, we will talk about that too. Baba Farid Bar, we will talk about this. It's a totally different subject that we'll, Baba Farid ji Bar and all that, we'll have to cover at some other time. Apne ko time thoda hai. Next, very quickly I want to compare Gurmat Karam philosophy with Buddhist and Hindu Karam philosophy. Before we start this, I just want to explain something, that religions come from two places, only two places. Europeans, they had no religion came from here. Religions come either from Middle East, from the Jerusalem area, that Arab area. Three religions came from there: Judaism, Jews, Christianity, and Islam. These three religions come from Middle East. And then the religions come from India. Hinduism uthon, Jain dharam uthon, and Buddhist dharam. So oldest dharams are Jain and Hindu dharam are very old, then followed by Buddhist, and finally Kaljug vich Gurusada, yes, Gurmat Karam, Sikh dharam. These four dharams are from India. And in my opinion, the Semitic religions, they are much inferior to the Indian religions. And within Indian religions, the Semitic religions don't believe in reincarnation, they don't believe in karma. This is why they cannot explain why some children are born unequal. We can very easily say, KPS Gill, right? When he dies, if he's born as a very poor person, a very dushta, he suffers in the next world, we shouldn't be surprised. Suffer karna hai si. So Gurmat can explain why some people are born unequal, but a Muslim cannot explain. He has no answer to this question. Why are some children born poor, some are born rich? Why is it there's an inequality? So explain nahi kar sakte. Now within the Indian religions, I'm just using the word Indian religion. Don't the whole matlab na kadyo. My Sikhism, Indian dharam, nothing like that. Sikh is an international religion. Just for the sake of this presentation, I'm making this distinction here. In the Indian religions, they all believe in the philosophy of karma. Buddhists believe in it, Hindus believe in it, they all believe in reincarnation as well. But there is a subtle difference between Sikh dharam and Hindu and Buddhist, all of them. Pehli ਗੱਲ ਆ, the Buddhists believe that karma is all powerful. ਉਹ ਇਦਾਂ believe ਕਰਦੇ karma is all powerful. If you did slap somebody, you will get slapped. Period. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ every action has an opposite and equal reaction or more. Reaction होनी है. So they believe in a system that's in place, which works automatically. There is a system in place, system of karma in place. So it works automatically. If you do this, like a computer program hai, this will happen. If you do idda kita, idda ho jo. So this will, and Gurmat believes that this system is in place, but Vaheguru is actively involved in the system. So ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਥੱਪੜ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਵਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜੱਜ ਕਰਨਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣਾ. ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ is actively involved in his creation. He is not sitting somewhere, sitting ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਪਰ he is actively involved ਵੀ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ. ਹਾਂਜੀ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦੇ because they don't believe in prasad means kirpa. Buddhists don't believe in kirpa because they don't believe in Akal Purkh. This is why I have written also many times. Many people have objected to this also. I don't consider Buddhist a dharma even because they don't believe in Akal Purkh. All other religions believe in Akal Purkh. Buddhist dharma and Jain dharma don't believe in Akal Purkh. In my personal opinion here. And Bhai Kulbir Singh has also written about this in his book Gurmat Karam philosophy. He writes that Buddhist dharma is a Shaitani dharma. Shaitani means satanic. Satanic is hega hi if it's an atheist dharma. But we are not here to condemn any religion. We are just comparing what's the difference between Gurmat and other terms. Second difference is, actually both have already went through these. So yeah, karma hai na, karma ya Sikhi vich a je Gursikh ne je kisi Gursikh has murdered somebody, as an example denne hon Baba Deep Singh ji, all Gursikh sige, they had taken many lives. Baba Deep Singh ji, कई अकाली फूला सिंह बड़े थे कि 1000 मुसलमान मारे थे उन्होंने 1000. Say अकाली फूला सिंह ji did not suffer any karmic consequence of that. Otherwise, if you kill one life, वो तो बहुत बड़ा karmic ਉਹਦਾ debt है. But it is saying कि धर्म doing धर्म युद्ध, Guru Sahib himself and many Gursikhs at that time went through. So Akal Purkh will judge every karma that every being does and award reward or punishment accordingly. So if two persons do same karam, the effect will not be same. According to Buddhist and Hindu dharms, the effect will be same. If both of us slap somebody, we both get slapped back. But according to the Sikh dharam, the effect will be decided by Akal Purkh. Akal Purkh, every karam he is actively involved in every karam. Tahega ki jab maafi mang li hai, and though that karam can get forgiven also, according to Sikh dharam. Now very quickly, I'm just going to go through. I'm going to finish this off quickly so that we have more time for question answers. So we're going to go very quickly through Manmukh Karams and Gurmat Karams. So Manmukhi Karam ki hundne? Any Karam that's not done in accordance to Gurmat is Manmukhi Karam. So examples of Manmukhi Karam we went through yesterday. So 4 Bajra Kreta are one of the biggest Manmukhi Karams. Pehli Bajra Kreta having adultery करनी, fornication, having boyfriends and girlfriends, इतना दा काम करना, वो कराते हैं, बज्जर कराते हैं. According to Gurmat, ये सब बहुत बड़ा मनमुखी कर्म है. तो इतना दस दिन है. एक at the time of Bhai Kulbir Singh ji, this is about 200 years ago. While Singh attack it that Musliman, in their captivity they got a princess of Lahore, one of the princesses of Lahore. And that princess, she was very proud of her beauty. And while she was in Lahore with other Muslims, she always used to hide parda kardi thi, because udwal the Musliman, she thought everybody used to look at her. When she got caught, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੇ, she was surprised and shocked. Instead she was shocked to see ਕਿ ਸਿੰਘ ਉਹਦੇ ਵੱਲ ਝਾਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ. Singhs won't even look at her. Because ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰਤਰੀ ਰੂਪ ਨਾ ਪੇਖੇ ਨੇਤਰ. We Gursikhs don't even look at. And she was really surprised to see that the Singhs were not taking interest in with interest ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. And then it's written in history that at one point she even wanted to get married to Bhai Kulbir Singh ji. ਪਰ Kulbir Singh ji, but she didn't want to become a Sikh. And Bhai Kulbir Singh couldn't become a Muslim, so ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਦੇ ਹੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ. So I just want to mention that ये सिंह ते इन्ना उच्चा करैक्टर है. Everything that we have is our character है, साਡਾ करैक्टर, साਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਅਖਲਾਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆ. ਤੋ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਹੁਣ if we hear stories that ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਨੇ ਬਾਣਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਵਾ, ਬਾਣਾ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਗਰਲਫ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੀਬੀ ਆ ਬੱਚੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਉਹਨੇ ਬਾਣਾ ਪਾਇਆ, ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ ਬੱਚੀ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਬॉयਫ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਆ, ਇਹ ਇੰਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਸ਼ੇਮ ਆ. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਔਰ ਫਾਦਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਆਮ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਪਿਓ ਦੀ ਚਿੱਟੀ ਪੱਗ ਨੂੰ ਦਾਗ ਨਾ ਲਾਈ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਿਓ ਦੀ ਬਾਪ ਦੀ ਚਿੱਟੀ ਪੱਗ ਨੂੰ ਦਾਗ ਨਾ ਲਾਈ, ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਦੈਟ ਡੋਂਟ ਸਟੇਨ the pagadi of the honor of your father. If Amritari Gursikhs, if we indulge in these kind of karams, we are staining ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ bad name ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. So it's very important ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਵਾਨੀ 'ਚ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. It's very important that we keep our character, our morals high. ਵੀ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਗਲਤੀ ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ. So to avoid this kind of ਗਲਤੀਜ਼, that's why we went through this yesterday we were talking about chatting ਵਗੈਰਾ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨਾਲ, ਮੁੰਡੇ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਚੈਟਿੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ, ਅਕੋਰਡਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ. ਆਸਕ ਯੂਰ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ were they doing these kind of activities, ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਰਦੇ, were they talking to their girls at that time? No. ਹੁਣੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਮਗਰ ਲੱਗ ਕੇ, ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਮਗਰ ਲੱਗ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਵਰਗੇ ਬਣ ਗਏ. So doing any of the bajjakrats, fornication, adultery, eating meat, ਕੇਸ ਕੱਟਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਪਾਪ ਹੈ. Let's imagine something, ਇਸ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੋਈ ਫਿੰਗਰ ਕੱਟ ਦੇਵੇ, we feel so much pain, but when they cut our hair ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ pain feel ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ. But I have a feeling that the pain will come not now, the pain is deferred, the pain will come and ਇਕੱਠੀ ਆਊਗੀ ਜਾਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਵਰਲਡ 'ਚ ਆਊਗੀ. ਪੇਨ ਤੇ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਬੋਡੀ ਦਾ ਅੰਗ ਕੱਟਿਆ, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਆਹ ਕੱਟਿਆ, ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਕੇਸ ਕੱਟਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਦੀ ਪੇਨ is only deferred. In the next world the pain will come immediately. Imagine if we have to go through the pain of 10 ਉਂਗਲਾਂ ਕੱਟੀਆਂ ਜਾਣ, ਕਿੰਨੀ ਪੇਨ ਹੋਗੀ, all fingers get cut. Same way if we cut here, the pain will come, it will come later on, it will definitely come. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਡੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ, we not supposed to interfere in the body. we ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਦਈਏ, ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਰੰਗ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਕੇ ਗ੍ਰੀਨ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ, ਇੱਥੇ ਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਲੀਚ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ, ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੇ ਵਾਲ ਜੇ ਧੌਲੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਨੇ, if you get grey hair, we are supposed to dye them. ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਮਨਮੱਤ ਦੇ ਕਰਮ ਨੇ. we are discussing ਮਨਮੁਖੀ ਕਰਮ here. be proud, ਜਿਵੇਂ we should be proud of what we are. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬਾਣੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਆ, ਜੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਆ ਵਾ ਸਰੂਪ, ਬੋਡੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਆ. let it stay as is. and lastly the ਚਾਰ ਬਜਕਰਤਾ is intoxications, any kind of intoxication, ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਹੋਵੇ ਚਾਹੇ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਨੇ, ਚਾਹੇ ਟੋਬੈਕੋ ਆ, ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਆ, ਸਾਰੇ ਬੈਡ ਮਨਮੁਖੀ ਕਰਮ ਨੇ. ਫਿਰ ਦੇ ਮੋਰਲ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ that ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ tells us, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਝੂਠ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਣਾ, ਚੋਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ, ਟੈਕਸ ਪੂਰਾ ਪੇ ਕਰਨਾ. ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ if you doing our own business, taxes, I believe that because we sign underneath, we sign tax return, right? So we must pay taxes, otherwise we shouldn't file tax. फिर ठीक है, tax ना pay करो. But if we file a tax return and we sign that no, what the statement that I'm making above is truth, then we should pay full taxes. So ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਣੇ when Gursikhs in Toronto, when they do seva, this is also one of the things we ask. What happens tomorrow if a Gursikh, Amritari Gursikh gets caught? ਉਹਦੀ ਅਖਬਾਰ ਫੋਟੋ ਆਊਗੀ, ਆ ਤੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਨੇ $5,000 ਦੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਟੈਕਸ ਦੀ. So how bad name we will give to Sikhiyat then. So ਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ ਕਰੈਕਟਰ ਪੂਰਾ ਜ਼ਬਰਦਸਤ ਹੈ. ਟੈਕਸ ਪੇ ਕਰ ਦੋ, ਟੈਕਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਮਰ ਚੱਲੇ ਆਪਾਂ, ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਚੱਲਿਆ, we will survive. And then one of the worst karams, even worse than Bajjakrat, is if we become bemukh to Guru Sahib. How do we become bemukh to Guru Sahib? ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji was standing, he went somewhere and he was standing, it was a forest, and Gursikhs noticed that a snake, a very huge snake, a serpent, was coming towards Guru Sahib. And the Gursikhs, they moved forward by Bidhi Chandi, and they moved forward to kill the snake. He was coming directly towards Guru Sahib. The Guru Sahib stopped, ruk jo Sikho, kuch nahi कहना, let him come. So जो snake आया ना Guru Sahib कोले, he came to hit the feet of Guru Sahib, ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਤੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਫਟ ਗਿਆ, and meaning that ਉਹ snake died. ਜਦੋਂ die ਹੋਇਆ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ, ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਕੌਤਕ ਸੀ, what was all this all about, ਕੀ ਸੀ ਇਹ? ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਆਪਣੇ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸੱਪ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪੇ ਦੱਸੂਗਾ, the snake himself will tell you what's going on. So ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ gave that snake the soul seed, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਾਵਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ, and that snake, the soul became visible to Gursikhs, and the soul ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ in my previous life I was a saint, I was a sant, and I was only pretending to be a sant, and I was a fake guru. I was misleading people. I was telling them that if you believe in me, if you follow my path, you will reach, you will get salvation. And then the Guru Sikhs also noticed that the snake was also was being eaten by insects. Hunda pata ki if a snake gets cut, then the ਕੀੜੀਆਂ and the insects, snake cannot avoid, it can't bite ants, right? ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ants ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ insects ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸੱਪ ਨੂੰ ਖਾ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. So that snake was just full of insects for eating him up. So ਉਹਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ I am that guru that who was misleading people, and all these insects who are eating me, they are my chele, they are my disciples who I had misled. So ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਆ, the disciples, the people who were following that snake, the maximum they could have reached was they reached their guru, and the guru was a snake. ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ. ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ, if we jap naam and we worship Guru Sahib, Akal Purukh, Guru Sikhs reach Sachkhand because that's where Guru Sahib is. And if people who worship a false guru, they will reach where that guru goes, and if the guru becomes a snake, then the chele will also reach the guru, and they became insects and they were eating away that snake. So ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਮਨਮਤ ਕਰਮ ਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਣਾ. ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਛੋੜ ਕੇ ਮਨਮੁਖ ਹੋਏ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ. ਬੰਦਾ means ਗੁਲਾਮ. Another meaning of banda is gulam. In Farsi, Urdu it means gulam. Guru Sahib ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਨਮੁਖ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ doesn't believe in Guru, he becomes gulam of a gulam, slave of a slave. The person, the fake sants or fake gurus that out there, ਉਹ ਤੇ ਆਪ slaves ਨੇ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ they can't give us mukti. They can't give us what we are looking for. What we are looking for, we only can get it from Guru Kar. This vastu, this thing, ਆੜਾ ਪਦਾਰਥ ਆ, it's nowhere else. ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੈ. So ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਮਨਮਤ ਕਰਮ ਆ to follow any other sant or any fake guru. So we have gone through this already. Severe punishments, as we just heard that the chele became insects. What happens is, very quickly we go through, after we die, our jivatma is taken to Dharamkhand. Dharamkhand, that's where Dharmara is. They judge our deeds, and accordingly, at their discretion, they give us swarg or nark. For the good deeds, they give us swarg. For bad deeds, they give us nark. And at their discretion, if they want, they can send us directly back and give us a bad juni, and we may be reborn as a dog or a cat or a very poor and suffering person. So it's up to their discretion. If we lose this opportunity, then God knows when we'll get the opportunity again. ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੂਜ਼ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ, ਵੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੀਏ ਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਮਨੁੱਖਾ ਜਨਮ ਸਫਲ ਕਰੀਏ. Next we're going to very quickly go through Gurmat Karam. Gurmat Karam ਕੀ ਆ? ਹਰ ਕੋ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਕਰਮ. ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ 'ਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਸਰਬ ਧਰਮ ਮੇਂ ਸ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਠ ਧਰਮ, which is the greatest religion of all. Greatest dharam. Dharam means actually, dharam over here means duty, kam. Biggest dharam, duty kedi hai? The biggest duty is har ko naam jap. This is the greatest dharam, this is the greatest karam to do, and this is the only nirmal karam. Nirmal means the karam that's without mal, without dirt. Har kirat sadh sangat hai sir karman ke karma. Notice the vishram that I placed. Normally we say har kirat sadh sangat hai sir karman ke karma, but if we go through the meanings, the vishram should be har kirat sadh sangat sir karman ke karma. Har kirat done in sadh sangat hai sir karman ke karma. Sir karman ke karma means it's the greatest karam. Karma de sir te karam, sab to changa karam. Sab to changa karam ki hai. Har kirat means singing, doing kirtan. Kirat means to sing praises. Akal Purukh di kirat karni, naam japna, through naam jap ki kirat karni or through Gurbani kirat karni. That's the greatest karam of all. And to obey the hukams of Guru Sahib, Guru Sahib di gal manani, ਰਹਿਤ ਰੱਖਣੀ, ਇਹ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਕਰਮ ਨੇ. So what happens if we do Gurmat Karam? Gurmat Karam ਕੀ ਨੇ? ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ, it does not produce a result, a reaction that will force us to come back here. as an example, say somebody, there is a person, hypothetically talking, there is a person who never does bad karma, only does good karma, always gives money in charity, always ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਢਦਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਆਪਣਾ takes to himself. Basically when he goes to Dharam Rai, he only has good karma. But even that person will have to come back to this world because he has to exhaust his good karma then. Then he will be born back as maybe as Bill Gates, bada rich banda hai, and has all the luxuries, all the sukh and everything. Maybe born as George Bush, I don't know. कोई भी कुछ भी born हो सकता है. But that person will have to take birth. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਉਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲੇ outstanding karma ਹੈ. Only then we get free from this coming to this 84 lakh zone when we don't have any karma outstanding. That's the only time when we don't come here. And it's only Gurmat Karam, naam da karam te Gurbani da karam, which does not produce a karma, a reaction that forces us to come back here. So my last slide here. What happens if we do Gurmat Karam? We get pyar of Guru Sahib. एक बारी ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ yesterday, ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ said, ਭਾਈ ਡੱਲਾ ਜੀ asked Guru Sahib if I can, he did seva of Guru Sahib all night, standing Guru Sahib ਸਾਰੀ ਰਾਤ ਸੇਵਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਭਾਈ ਡੱਲਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ, ਸਰਾਤੀ ਖੜਾ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਚੌਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਗਾਰਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਸਵੇਰੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਡੱਲਿਆ ਮੰਗ ਕੀ ਮੰਗਦਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਮੰਗਿਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੋਰ ਸਭ ਕੁਛ ਹੈਗਾ, give me a spot in your feet in the next world। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪੀੜੀ ਜੋਗਾ ਥਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ। ਪੀੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਸਟੂਲ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ, ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਲਕਾ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਅੱਗੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਰਾਜ ਮੰਗ ਲਾ, if you want you can become, I can bless you with kingdom of the world, but the demand that you have asked for, it cannot be given to you because ਤੂੰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਛਕਿਆ ਹਲੇ। So then ਭਾਈ ਡੱਲਾ ਜੀ he was a ਬਰਾੜ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕਿਆ, ਸਾਰੇ ਬਰਾੜ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਿੱਤੇ, ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕ ਕੇ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣੇ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਸੋ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਾਂਗੇ ਇਹਾਂ ਖਾਟ ਚਲੋ ਹਰ ਲਾਹਾ ਆਗੇ ਬਸਣ ਸੁਹੇਲਾ, ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਾਂਗੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਪੀਨੈਸ ਆ, ਹਲਤ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਲਤ, ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਆ, ਪਲਤ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਵਰਲਡ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਗੈਟ ਐਵਰਲਾਸਟਿੰਗ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ। ਐਂਡ ਫਾਈਨਲੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਹਾਰ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਹਾਰ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਫਤਿਹ ਵਿਕਟਰੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਇੰਨੇ ਵਚਨ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਚਕ ਹਾਂ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੁਣ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਨਸਰ ਦੱਸਾਂਗੇ ਇਹ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।